there's a couple of different strategies, okay, when I get to double guard pull. I can put my legs in between. If I'm going in between, usually it's because I'm trying to attack like an ankle lock or a single leg X or double unders or something, and I'm trying to come underneath my opponent. All right, a lot of times I'm gonna be looking for a baron bolo or a baby bolo, which is what we're working on today. We did the baby bolo before from this position where we give our opponent a push and we hunt for the pant and we come around the back and our knee goes behind. Okay, we get to this position, look for the far pant, and we collapse them over top of us, take them to the far side, and we end up in this position right here. It's a bit different when we're both seated because I can no longer drive behind the person, right? Drive my knee behind the person because her back is backstopped by the mat. So I have to do this like weird inversion technique to get to the position, okay? Before we get there though, it's basically the same as if she's standing. I'm gonna be finding a De La Riva hook with my left foot, okay? So let's just start there. If her foot is, if her toes are up like this, it's gonna make a problem for me later when I wanna get past her foot. So the first thing we wanna practice is we're gonna take our hand, make a C grip right over the top of her tippy toes, and we're gonna push it flat, okay? And then we're gonna sit on it with our butt. Okay, that's number one. My hand is then gonna go to her ankle, all right? Two, I'm gonna make sure I have a nice De La Riva with my toes on the inside of her seam of her pants, okay? With this grip right here, just with this setup that I have, if I extend my leg, I'll turn her hip, okay? I'll put pressure on her knee laterally and it'll turn her hip away, okay? So that's really important because I'm gonna be just like from the feet, I'm gonna be looking for that pant grip right there. If her knee is up, when I go for that pant grip, it's really easy for her to grip fight, okay? There, okay, so that makes it easy. But if just by turning away her hip, it really only allows her now to hand grip fight effectively with one arm, okay? And that can usually be beaten, okay, because she's at a weird angle. So it gives me an advantage, just the virtue of doing that with my foot. And that is an extension, okay? By extending my foot, I turn her knee and her hip away from me, giving me the ability to look for that grip. Okay, so that's number one. What's going on this side is I'm going to be looking to grip fight that foot out. You can see if Danny made a De La Riva hook here, okay, it's like a 50-50 De La Riva. I got one on the left and she's got one on my right side. Okay, so then we both be playing who can turn each other's hips out. Okay, well, the way that I can neutralize that is I'm going to look to make sure that my foot comes out and I want to push her behind her hamstring at her knee, push her leg away. Okay, that ensures that only I have the De La Riva on this leg. Okay. Now the thing is that if I just push it away, I don't have any control of it. So I'm gonna try to fight to the ankle, and then I can control it with one hand by pushing it away and holding it with the other hand. I can do the ankle or the pant. The ankle is actually better in this situation. Okay, the ankle or the foot. Okay, so I'm gonna push it away and control it like that. So now I have a De La Riva on my left, and I have a frame in the back of her hamstring behind her knee on my right, and I'm gonna turn her hip away. Okay, so I want you guys to do this. You're gonna sit with your opponent. You're both gonna have legs bent like this. You're gonna make your De La Riva. She's gonna have her toes stretched up like that. Keep your knee bent. She's gonna have her toes stretched up like that. You're gonna make your De La Riva. You're gonna take your hand, push her foot down, put your butt on top of it so she can't lift it up. She's gonna try. She's gonna try and lift her foot. You're sitting on it, okay? Hand goes to the ankle, and then with your De La Riva, hook, just keep it set like that. Your right hand is gonna push her leg out, and you're gonna turn her hip away, okay? And then she's gonna have a turn. Okay, she's gonna push her toes down, sit on it, grab your ankle, okay, and then she's gonna fight this hand, push the foot out, like that, and now she's gonna extend this leg to turn the hip and to turn the knee and expose the hip. Okay, and then we go back. I'm gonna make my De La Riva, push her toes down. Remember, okay, when you guys reset, keep your toes up. Make your opponent push those toes down, okay? Push them down, sit on them, extend, and then force the hip. If you want, you guys, after you force the hip, try to quickly find that grip in the pant, okay, and then back. And now it's her turn. Sorry, that's my bad. And then she digs for it. Okay, now the hand that's going to dig for it is going to be a cross grip. Okay, so it's going to be this hand here. There. Okay, so guys, remember this. The ankle hand always stays on the ankle. Okay, so the ankle hand stays on the ankle. You're going to be reaching for the hip with the other hand. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, let's try. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, time. Okay, so let's come back. So now we're going to do something silly. All right, it's going to look silly. We're just going to sit like this. So just. Yeah, that's great. Okay, just gonna sit like this with your feet like this. Now imagine you got your De La Riva and everything like that. What we're gonna do is this. We're gonna take our left hand and put it behind our back. All right? Or you could even cup your own thigh. Okay, let's just do that. Let's cup our thigh with that left hand. Okay? Our left leg is gonna go between our right leg, just like this. Okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lean forward and put my knee or my shoulder on the mat by my knee. Okay, so I have to lean forward to do that. Okay, what I don't want you guys doing is like leaning back like this. Okay, I want you to make sure that you're leaning forward, putting your shoulder on the mat by your knee. Now look here, I'm going to use both my feet to elevate my hips, and when I do this, I'm going to tuck my chin into my belly button because I want to roll from shoulder to shoulder to here. Okay, so my butt's going to be in the air. Both my feet are on the mat. Okay, and my hands are here. Okay, so again, we're just going to practice getting upside down. Okay, so again, hand underneath your thigh, your hamstring. Left leg tucks between your right leg. Lean forward and put your shoulder on the mat. Now push off both your feet and tuck your chin into your belly button as you go from shoulder to shoulder. Here. Okay, and back. Okay, let's see you guys do it. Okay guys, where you're gonna have a hard time doing this, okay, is that you're gonna roll too far onto your butt. Okay, so you're gonna go like this. Okay, so what that means though is that you kind of want to be able to like be stacked here. Okay, so like you don't have to touch the mat, but you want to be comfortable up on your shoulders. Okay, so be comfortable up on your shoulders. Okay, so tuck your chin. Now if you're having a hard time with that, you can also shrug your shoulders, it helps. Okay, shrug your shoulders up. So that kind of like puts you like how a turtle drops his head into a shell, right? Okay, so if you're having a hard time, shrug your shoulders, right? And then you should be able to kind of hang out here a little bit. Okay, so you're comfortable up on your shoulders. Okay, let's go. Something you can try to do to get familiar with the position is this. You start square like this, roll back and touch your toes over your shoulder, okay? Like this, and then stop. And then walk your feet to the other side. And then walk your feet to the other side. Okay, so you can just go like this. This is basically the movement that we're doing. Okay, it's coming over our shoulders, like this. Okay, so why don't we all just give that a shot, okay? Because we're going to be going from side to side. And so before we start our roll, it's important that this foot is going to move. Okay, so Danny's just going to lift that hand up for a second so you can see where I put it. I'm going to lean forward, and as I lean forward, my shoulder's going to hit the mat by my knee. When I do that, my foot is going to kick her right in the belly button like I'm kicking a soccer ball. Okay, so like you use the ball of your foot here. Okay, don't use your toes, use the ball of your foot. And I'm going to place that right in her belly button. When I do that, what I'm trying to do is make like a chopsticks over top of her knee. Okay, so that I already start to beat her knee. Okay, does that make sense? So I'm going to extend that leg out. I'm going to bring my shoulder down. When I get to about here, look, I kick her in the belly button with my foot. And I'm starting to block her knee here. Okay? I'm going to pull on her hip, and I'm going to use my left foot on the mat to elevate my hips so that I can come to this position. So I'm going to be here like so. Okay? And then we'll go back. And then we'll let Danny have a shot. Good. She squashes my toes, bites my foot, turns my hips out by extending her leg, reaches, makes her grip. Good. She's going to drop her shoulder as she starts to roll. Sit in. She's going to kick me in the belly button with this foot. Boom. Elevates her hips, and she's going to be upside down. Okay, so she's in a good position. Okay, good starting position. And then it'll be my turn. Okay, so again, de la riva, push the toes, sit on it, fight that far leg out, stretch the hip, make my grip, start to roll, kick her in the belly button. Okay, elevate my hips, and I'm going to get to this position. Okay? So usually when you go berimbolo, you're going berimbolo because you want to attack the back. Okay? When your berimbolo fails, you go to baby bolo to the leg drag. Okay, so you can do it as a direct attack. When you get good at it, you might choose to go there, but like honestly, what we're doing is going to usually be the result of a failed berimbolo. So I'm going to show you where your legs need to go in order to set you up for the berimbolo, and then we'll look at how that's going to fail, which is going to put you onto the baby bolo, which is what we're working towards. Okay, so I'm going to be in this position. I fought her leg out. I made my grip. I'm going to get inverted, kick her in the belly button. I'm going to invert myself. And when I invert myself, I want to start pulling my head closer to her hip. Okay? So the closer my head can get to her hip, the better. I don't want to be way out here like this. Okay? So I'm really far and loose here. What I want to be doing is I want to be trying to come underneath her. You guys see how my forehead is touching her hamstring? Okay? Now look at what my legs are doing. The leg that kicked her in the belly button, I wanted to try and cup the far side of her hip, above her leg. You guys see that? The leg that is making a de la riva, I want to start making a bend in it. So when I put a bend in it, I'm trying to pinch her leg in it. You guys see that? I'm pinching her leg in this De La Riva leg, and this one is keeping her hip flat on the mat. You guys see that? My hand is still on her ankle, so I'm in this position here. Okay, if I did a good job of this, this is gonna set me up really nicely to expose her back for the bolo. Okay, so I wanna get comfortable getting in tight, making nice pinch so that I can expose her back so that later when I want to, I can start trying to take her back, okay? So again, I make my De La Riva, I push down her toes, I'm sitting on her toes, I'm fighting out that far leg, turning her hip, making my grip, I'm gonna get inverted. When I get inverted, I kick her, but after I kick her with my foot, I'm really pulling myself in. I'm pulling myself in nice and tight, and I'm reaching with my kicking foot to the far side of her hip. My De La Riva foot is gonna make a nice bite with my heel to my butt, okay? Nice tight wedge, pinching on her leg so that I control that leg, all right? So again, here, shoulder goes down, kick her in the belly, invert, pull my head in tight, kick my foot to the far hip, and make a nice bite right here, okay? There's actually tension as well, outwards on my bite and outwards this way on my wedge, okay? I'm putting tension, kind of stretching her leg. This is putting a really big lever into her hip. You guys see the lever there? Look at the lever. My legs are doing this, okay? If I do this right, later on I can expose her back an incredible amount without even touching her using my hands, okay? My hands will just become a steering wheel to put her hip into my hip, okay? So I want you guys to drill like this now. We're here, make that, push that down, stretch it out, stretch, make your grip, get inverted, kick her in the belly, pull yourself in tight, bend your leg and extend. Okay, bend and extend, and then back. Get comfortable getting to that position. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nothing goes perfect in a row, always, okay? So she's gonna get back to the position, and I'll show you what will end up happening, okay? She goes. I start to make separation, okay? I start to make separation, and I get too far away from her, all right? When this starts to happen like this, Danny's system starts to fall apart a little bit, okay? But what she can do is she can still elevate my leg with her leg there, okay? She can take this knee and she can hide it now behind my knee. Look at that, okay? And now what she can do is put her back on the mat and she'll end up here, okay? Now if she was to back up a little bit, right here and start hunting for my far leg with her left hand, exactly, okay? And then she was to put her butt on the mat, she would be able to drag my leg across her body, and look where she ends up. Oh, Danny knows what to do, okay? She ends up in a leg drag, all right? So let me show. We're gonna get to this position, we push her out, we make a grip in the hip, we're gonna start to invert, we get to here, okay, and I start to lose, there starts to become too much space, okay, where I can't, I start to lose my connection to Danny, all right? Well, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna salvage the position by pulling this leg and hiding my leg behind her leg. At this point right here, okay, once I have my knee behind her knee, I'm gonna start to hunt for her far leg, okay, with my pant leg. It's always gonna be my pant leg that hunts for the leg drag, okay? I don't wanna let go of the hip grip because then I lose everything. I don't have any connection to her hip anymore. So I'm gonna hunt with my other hand. I like to reach up and find a pocket grip if I can, okay? The truth is that the end of the leg can be actually really hard to pull over here like this. It can be hard if she's being really belligerent with keeping that leg heavy and or keeping the heel to her butt, okay? So a good spot to hunt for that as well is right between her leg up on her thigh. You can pull that across, okay? Just like that. That's also another good place to hunt, okay? So then I end up in this position right here where I'm lying perpendicular to her with both my legs splitting her legs, okay, and her leg across my body. Then all I need to do is, again, hide my foot, elevate, and then start my reach, okay? If I go from this position, I can also hunt, once I kind of pull that leg down, I can hunt for that pant leg, just to help me keep that straight as I elevate, okay? So again. So you guys will practice this time. Rolling with a little bit of space and then diving your knee behind your opponent's knee. Finding your knee here. Your opponent doesn't need to necessarily every time like move away, okay? You're just gonna opt to go here on purpose, all right? And then hunt for that pant leg. Pull her to this position, elevate, drive your knee through, make a grip on the far collar, extend, okay? Hips, switch your grip, come around the corner, get the shoulder underneath the armpit, come to the lapel, and you're here, okay? Do a shuck, and you're on her back, okay? Does everybody understand like where the knee goes behind the back of the knee? Right? Everybody understand which knee it is that's going behind the back of the knee? It's going to be the one that's not bent, okay? The straight leg. The straight knee is going to go behind the knee of your opponent. Does that make sense? Okay, let's try. We'll see. We'll troubleshoot it after. 1, 2, 3.